Okay, I've got on my desk here, Mike, what we talked about earlier. I've got announcements. I've got review of our business building events that we had last week, little updates on buyer guide. And I also have my 3 favorite dad jokes. Yes. So I know that's why you come to Huddle, is to get good humor, right? I know I'm working on it too. Okay, so, well, let's first jump into some announcements. First of all, the purpose of Huddle, just going to clarify this, it was brought up in-person meeting yesterday. The Huddle is a combination of roundtable and coaching. We will every other week really focus on either one of those topics. Today, we're going to focus more on maybe the business building aspect of real estate. Next week, we will dive into more ruled law, transaction-based discussion. So it'll kind of alternate every other week. That was kind of the blend of roundtable and coaching. So I welcome you here. Of course, I'd love to talk rule and law, maybe too much, but anyway, we'd love to do more of that. And we'll do that every other week. So first of all, let me give you some announcements on where we are with the buyer guide. And Mike, please jump in if I missed something here. So the buyer guide is going through one more really high level edit. There's a company in California that does a lot of professional magazine publications, and they've agreed to take a look at our buyer guide to make sure it reads well from start to finish, that it's not too repetitive. We're going through a little bit. We should have that back any day. This is not weeks. This is just days. We're also making sure we have better photos of each marketplace. Saw some fantastic images, particularly in the St. George market. Were just unbelievably clear and amazing, beautiful photos. So we've got a little bit of work to do on dropping those in, and our own Tim in marketing, our marketing department is working on that as we speak right now. So we should just be a couple of days away. I anticipate next week's sales meetings will have the processes of when you want to go ahead and order some, if you want them generic, or if you want to drop in the agent pages, we'll have some answers to that on Tuesday. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, those of you who have a copy of the buyer guide, I think it'd be important to focus on just a couple of things for in the interim. Okay, let me pull that up. Show screen. Okay, I would get a head start on memorizing the 8 segments of the buyer presentation. I think this will help you. So this is the graph. I think this is on page 30. The linear graph highlights these as you go through the entire presentation. So in the beginning, your first meeting with the buyer, and you can kind of see those. I don't know if I would really dive in a lot to that. There'll be more coming on the buyer guide in future discussions. And we may blend on that topic. You and I, Mike, we're talking about maybe blending more of the law and transaction cases along with the buyer presentation. Yeah. But for those of you who have it, or if you want just this graph, if you missed any of the buyer presentation or the business building events, then just email me and I will send you the graph. I think that'd be a great way to start studying the pattern of all of this. Any comments or questions on that? No?
We do have a question in the chat. Jessica asks, can we get it translated into Espanol? That's Spanish for those who don't speak Spanish.
Yeah. Sure. It's kind of like, hey, you just built 8,000 square foot home. Could we add a room? Yeah, we can, Jessica. And eventually we'll get there. So be patient. We may be able to do something like that. So I'll look into it. Maybe that's the company we talked to in LA can also look at a language translation of the same material. So, but thanks for the input there. Any other comments on the buyer presentation or the pattern, the graph? If anyone needs it, just email me. Good?
Looks good.
Okay. All right, let's move on to. Oh, hold on a sec, guys. Kick off. Here we go. All right, now back to share. So I'm hoping that you've all made some progress on a couple of things. So this would be to take inventory. Let me share 1 second. Okay. Bear with me today. I'm having some pain in my right arm. I just came from the chiropractor a minute ago and got all the lame advice about what to do about it. So yeah, none of it's easy. But hey, you know, it's better than the alternative, getting old. Okay, first of all, I hope that you guys understand your, so hopefully at this point you have your why, and I can't get my page to turn. Here, come on, why, where are you? Not there. Okay, so how are you doing on defining a couple of things? Have you written out your reason, your why, your purpose? Then on your hows are your strategies. What you do is your tasks every day. So that's on the screen there. And then your win is your daily disciplines and how this translates to the win. Mike, do you have that reel ready? Can we play that? I think
sure do.
A really good time to play it. Let me tee this up. This is Brian Tracy. I did play this in Old Mill yesterday. It's good for a repeat. It only lasts like 20 seconds or something like that, if even that. He spits out a lot of good information pretty quickly. I'll help you make sense of it after. So let's see how they go. This is Brian Tracy. He's a world expert consultant on the process of setting goals, either individually or with large companies. So
okay, immediately let me know if you're getting sound when I share this.
Okay. Nope.
Through this exercise.
Louder.
Do not go through this exercise. Do not waste a minute of your time with them because they will never be successful.
You get a little louder, Mike.
Here's the exercise. Take a clean sheet of paper and write down goals and today's date, and then write down 10 goals that you would like to accomplish in the next 12 months, and write them in the present tense. I earn, I achieve, I weigh, I drive such and such a car, I own. And then you take this list of 10 and you say, if I had a magic wand and I could wave this magic wand and I could have any one goal on my list within 24 hours, which one goal would have the greatest positive impact on my life? And usually this will jump out at you. Put a circle around that goal. And that's a goal you transfer to a clean sheet of paper, and then you follow the 7 steps. Write it down, set a deadline, make a list of everything you have to do to accomplish it, organize the list into a checklist, take action, and then do something every day. If you'll just do this, nothing can stop you but yourself. From now on, whenever you bring on a new person, put them through this exercise. If they will not go through this exercise...
All right, there we go.
Did you guys read those comments?
Never read the comments. Like,
I know there's always.
I don't care what it's about.
There's always a naysayer. There's always someone, and I think really that this problem is there's always an exception to every rule. It's just such. Usually, it's very minor, you know, data point. So what is Brian suggesting here? He's got like, what's your takeaway of this? So you start with a blank piece of paper. You write down. You know, and he did it in an affirmation style, like I drive, I earn, so they're very affirmation style. What do you think that process was all about in the beginning? His first step is to write everything down, blank sheet of paper. What do you think the importance of that process is?
For me, that process is especially important for me because I think many of us, there's a lot of agents out there that are very successful that don't do business plans in writing. But if you were to sit them down and ask them how do they make their living, they really know exactly how to make their living. And they haven't translated it to paper. Now there are those. I think those are sort of maybe the top 10% of our marketplace, right? The top 10% of the agents just do it instinctively. They're driven by something that they don't need to write down. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's the majority of it. It's certainly not me. So one of the most important things for me to do is, because I have squirrel brain, is that it's so easy to start your day and get off track, especially in real estate, to get off track with that first phone call that leads you down somewhere that you didn't intend to go that day. And for me, that's really it's the quickest way to derail my day. And in fact, I'm so bad at it. A friend called me yesterday, and I was talking to my wife. This was at like 6:30 at night, and I did the auto reject thing, and I said, I'll call you in 5 minutes. I called him at 9 this morning because I just like, that's how derailed I get. And so if I'm writing these down and I'm putting them in a calendar and organizing myself, that's how I take care of my time. Because if I have to take care of it just in my brain, it's just not going to happen. And I think that's really what he's talking about, is organizing your priorities so that they're the ones that are the priority, instead of all the things that can easily derail your day. That's what I think he's saying.
Yeah. Well said. Well said, Mike. Appreciate that. You spawned a couple of thoughts, but anybody else got something before I kind of weigh in additional content here? Any other thoughts? So my question was, why does Brian start off with this process of I earn, I do, I drive, I weigh as part of that process on the first page?
Joel Pack says visualization.
Okay, because we're going to see it. Remember, because the second step is he's going to ask you to look at that list, right? And it is an affirmation. It's like, I am this. And so it's not only what you do and what you want to achieve, but it's also who you are. When you say affirmation, you're talking about more of who you are. That's an interesting step. So nice catch there.
I mean, think of Tricia says help you focus and follow through. I think affirmation is really, really powerful. I mean, it's one thing to to have the affirmation that you're aspiring to be something else, but there's also a different way to look at it. And that is, and there's a lot of people on this call and in our company who are experienced. And that is, we are always, as salespeople, we're always reaffirming what we've achieved in the past, right? There's something about, if we don't have the production that we had in the past, we've sort of affirmed who we are by our prior production. And if we don't do that again, that goes against who we think we are, to whatever level that may be. And I think to restate that and reclaim that territory, I think is important, even if you're experienced, even if you're a producer and you've done this time and time again. It's important to reaffirm who we believe ourselves to be.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Augusta says accountability.
Yep, good. You're starting to be accountable for what you are and what you do. And I think that's just an interesting wisdom way to put it down on a piece of paper like that. Let's move on to his second question. His second question in that reel was, now look at that list and which one stands out to you as the one that would make the most positive difference in your year. So that means we're going to put the other ones on the shelf until we get the one thing that's the most important. So why that step? I'm just going to help you out a little bit here. Don't you think it's interesting that he put I drive? I'm pretty sure I drive will not be the number one thing that will help your year be the best. I'm pretty sure. I don't know about the I weigh. I don't know. Maybe health could be a problem for an individual, this year. Overall, I mean, we all know the weight is just a number. It's only one indicator. A lot like we treat, our sales numbers. They're only one indicator. But something's going to jump off that page that will make the most difference. And even yesterday in our, even our Park City meeting, Steve Roney held up his written goals for this year. He goes, "Here they are, Will." And he held up his goals. So I thought that was, it's for everybody who's successful. Whether you do Brian Tracy's pattern or not, you have a vision of what you need to achieve. And successful people can not only see the vision of what they want, but they see the steps in which to get there. And this is the same thing that I've been asking in the business development events, is that, what are you after? And then how are you going to get there? So strategies and tactics and disciplines every day are the same thing. It's the same, like really the map of your business, which I've shown in the past, is the same thing. So it's, how does this translate into what you do every single day? So maybe something that could jump off that page is to plan my days more effectively, so I get the most important things done in that day. Maybe that's the thing that would make the most positive difference. So let's go on to the next one. I guess, moving right along. Okay, where's my cursor? There we go. Share screen. So we were back to the 3 most important things to focus on that would make the most positive improvement on your year. How many of you have identified that already? I'm hoping you have. And what, do you have all 3? How many of you, just curious, if you could repeat back to me what I suggested might be the most, that you got to come up with your own 3, but I did have 3 that I thought might be really good for everybody this year. You remember what those were? I need an Amazon gift card to give away right now, Mike.
I think the first one, I think, was you mentioned skiing and mountain biking. Was that right? No, maybe, sorry, that might have been a different meeting.
I actually did suggest
a lot of those presentations.
Yeah, I did suggest you got to ski more. We could take one of those. I think I gave a number of different things, but anyone remember what the 3 things were? Come on, Angie was on the front row.
Well, didn't you suggest meeting more people, trying to meet 10 people a week?
Yep, I did. Yep. That was a really, really good thing to do, is to make sure you connect with 10 new people every week. So 5-day work week, that's only 2 a day, guys. That's only 2 a day. Everyone's going, who's got a 5-day work week? I don't know. It's pretty much 24/7, isn't it, for a lot of us? All right, well, that was 1. Thank you, Julie. Anyone else? Okay, well, I'll say them, but you got to promise to write them down this time. Okay. Remember we played a reel where the young 12-year-old boy was asking the coach of Massachusetts after a win, what comes first? He says, you had great defense, but what comes first, technique or attitude? And the coach was like, wow, what a great question. What comes first, technique or attitude? And what did the coach say? Attitude. Attitude comes first. So if you're thinking about ways to have really great year, think about reminding yourself every day to have a really good mindset and positive attitude about the way that things happen. And the second one is like unto it, learn in failure. And even failure, defining that should be something that's not quite as negative as we often tend to make it out to be, particularly when a transaction doesn't work out the way you wanted. We need to learn in those environments. So the second one was to learn in failure, which goes along with the attitude, right? Because if we've got a good attitude, we'll look for the silver lining. We'll look for the good things that happen. Remember another coach said, become a good loser. Even a psychiatrist said, become a good loser and learn from losing. And remember, George Clooney even said that was his life, that he learned more from losing. He said, I learned nothing from winning, but everything I learned in my life, it came from some kind of a failure. So that was number 2. Number 3 was the fun one. This was to learn to laugh at things and have a good time. Remember, this reel was the comedian is on the Spirit airline flight. And the stewardess comes on and says, we need a doctor. And if you remember, he's like, oh boy, really? He's finding the humor in this. The tickets were $40. He goes, everyone on this flight is unemployed. The doctors are on Delta. There are no medical professionals on a Spirit airline flight. So they actually ended up, lowering the bar, right? Is there a nurse on board? No nurses. Anyone drop out of nursing school? No. I think finally they got a volunteer who said, I dressed up as a nurse. Does that count? And they're like, yeah, get in there, Wasn't there a Grey's Anatomy in there too, Mike, or something?
Probably.
Hey, we can have some fun. Our buyers, especially sellers too, want to have a good time in the real estate purchasing process. So let's not take ourselves too seriously in all of this. Learn to laugh along the way and have a good time. So there were 3 things that I thought might help, but you got to pick your 3 things to focus on. Let me pull down a book really quick. I bring this one up a lot. Let's see, where is it? Yeah, hold on a sec. Nothing like repeating, but this is the 4 disciplines of execution. This is a conjunction with the Covey, Sean Covey, and I think, Jim. Well, these are all expert consultants. And there's a concept in here about leading measures. So it looks kind of like that, guys, if you can see the screen, but what a definition of a leading measure is versus a lagging measure. So a leading measure is more predictive and influenceable, and the lagging measure is actually the goal. So when you're thinking about what matters most, Julie Larson just said earlier, 10 contacts a week. That is a leading measure. That's an activity. In other words, the goal isn't, a listing a week, and then that becomes the goal. Like, how do you get a listing a week? The way you get a listing a week is you contact 10 people a week. So what is really suggested here, when we're executing on goals, is that we get down into the daily disciplines. And those are called leading measures. So think about some simple leading measures that would make the most positive impact on your business, and really, really focus on those. So many things per day. Make yourself do it, right? Just like you treat your health, just like you treat your, anything else, your study habits. Think about your disciplines on your business building. Okay, just 1 a day, 2 a day, whatever it is, 3 a day. Okay, 10 a week. And that will make a huge, huge difference in how your year goes. Okay, buyer guide, Huddle announcements. Oh, okay, let's make sure we take a look at how did everybody do on the 20 ways to earn? Remember this exercise, 20 ways to earn? Did anyone come up with all 20? Or did you come up with a full list of 20 things? So remember, this exercise was you put your goal amount of earnings. I earn 500,000 in 2024. 20 ways in which to do that. The first 4, 5, 6, 7 are pretty easy. After that, it gets pretty challenging. So did anybody come up with all 20? Would you like some things to consider for your list?
Yes, we would.
We would. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, yes, we would. How about this? How about we can start off with my list here, I guess, and then anybody can add. Mike, feel free to weigh in, or anybody who wants to add in. Some of these we've already hit, so here we go. I'll start off with the fun one. Ski 3 times a week. So you're like, well, I live in Kanab. Well, we really don't ski in Kanab, but what do we do in Kanab that's like skiing? What do we do, Angie?
We go cross-country skiing, or drive to Bryan Head and go snow skiing. They just got a bunch of great snow up there.
There you go.
Nice. The whole reason of skiing 3 times is to meet new people. So whatever I do 3 times a week as my discipline to earn my 20 ways to earn is really centered around meeting new people. So 3 times a week, I meet new people. I get into new circles. So what is that? It's just skiing. Skiing is just a thing, but it could be anything, right? So why don't you put that one down? I do this thing 3 times a week because it puts me in circles of meeting new people. Okay. That's one. Okay, here we go. Study how-tos. So, this is a commitment every day that what I do is I study and learn. So I'm suggesting in your list that we probably don't know every reason, so we could study. So let's make sure that we're studying how we earn money. And there's a lot of different ways to do that. My favorite thing always is TED Talks. I mean, this is just such a great, easy way to consume thing. I get the expert in the world. I get 18 minutes. I get video. I get audio. They're very concise. So it's quick and it's 18 minutes. That's the rule with TED Talks. 18 minutes, you get the world expert. So spend time what if you did this? What if you did this as your 20 ways? Every day I watch one TED Talk on how to earn or protect my money. What if I did that? What do you think the impact would be over a year if I did that every single day? Okay, here's another one. Select accountability partner. So go skiing together. So go meet new people together, or whatever you need to do. Go do it together. There's a lot of open house partner, right? You hold one, I'll hold one. Group open houses. Let's do that twice a month, 4 times a month. Let's make sure that we do that. That could be a really great thing. How to earn my money is hold open houses 2 times every month for the entire year. We could put 24 a year. What do you think the impact of that would be?
Substantial.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would.
I'll throw one in here, Will, and break up your
please.
time. One of my, if I could only pick one to be more ways to earn, which I wouldn't, but I think one of the most important things you should consider is the time of the week in which you are planning your activities. And I know this seems a bit odd, but if I'm ever coaching anybody one-on-one, one of the first things I talk about is, hey, at the start of the week, you need to dedicate at least 30 minutes or an hour to actually plan your activities for the week. And I think it has huge impacts on how you prioritize your week, like really, really big impacts on how you prioritize your time. And it also lets you see, what things aren't as important. It lets you see, well, I have a fun activity, so I can still do that, but I also have to do this afterwards to make up for the time I missed, that type of thing. But throw that half hour to actually plan your time during the week. Most people I sit down with are choosing like Sunday night or Monday morning, first thing, 8 o'clock. That's when they're taking their time to actually plan their week.
Okay. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Let me add another one. You guys are this is very, very powerful. If every single day, look, guys, this could be 5 minutes. And it may be the most important 5 minutes of your entire day. When your head hits the pillow if you have my wife and I, we go through this pretty often, not every night, but it's like, what was the best part of your day? All right. That's a really good exercise. That's a whole nother thing. But if you think, well, what was the best part of my day? Let me give you the tip and then I'll tell you a story of what happened yesterday. And I'll tell you, because best part of my day. 5 minutes, express gratitude. Don't have gratitude, express gratitude. That's very different than having gratitude. Gratitude just is like your own aura. That's nice. It's really good. But expressing it is where the power is. All right. So you got to do something. So you're saying it, you're doing something about expressing gratitude. And gratitude is so powerful because it's everything that's right. We so often are chasing things that we don't have and we need, and it's like this inventory of things that are not yet in your life, and that can be very overwhelming. It can sap your energy because if that's all you do every day, you got to get in a habit of being grateful for what you already have, and then you got to express it. So what if you just took 5 minutes and said, I'm expressing gratitude? So you guys know that we had the letters. Remember, I said we've got these sealed letters. I've got one right here. You don't need to read the name, but this is someone who's left us. And I remember this lady. She's really great. I haven't called her yet, but I called someone yesterday who's left the company about 3 years ago. I know her story. She's a fantastic lady. I'm a big fan. I guess I'm not going to put too many particulars here because I want to break privacy or confidences, but everyone has challenges, right? And she just happened to share what those were with me about 5 years ago. She was in a list she wrote, the letter, remember the letter to yourself? encouraging yourself to keep your goals. Okay, well, we had it. She left the company 3 years ago. So I reached out to her to say, hey, I've got your letter. She was blown away that I called her. It was 5 years ago. It was 2019. And I said, oh, I want to mail it to you, and I hope it will help you. These are your own words. I held on to it, and we care about you. We're human beings here. Like, we get life, we get family, we get, all that. And you guys, I mean, it was tearful. It meant so much to her. And it was a simple little thing. I just called her to get her address, tell her I was thinking about her. I wrote her address down. Angie put a stamp on it, and out it went. So last night, Tammy says, what's the best part of your day? And I said, that was the best part of my day. That was so fulfilling. And it took me no time at all. And think about 24 hours of a day was boiled down to 7.5-minute conversation with someone. And, she said, she actually brought to my attention that 2024 is the year of karma. I don't know. I don't follow the stars much, but she said, if you knew this, it's like, this is the year of karma. And she goes, Will, you're literally giving back to me something I put out 5 years ago, which is the definition of karma. Isn't that cool, Monique? That's cool, right? And she was so grateful because the timing, I don't want to share too much here, but she's like, it's crazy to me that you called me today. And I'm like, why is that? She goes, well, remember what I told you 3-4 years ago? Yeah. Trying to keep a little bit of this confidential. She goes, well, it all comes to an end tomorrow. So like, I did it, I did it. And wow, so cool. So cool. I've told you guys this a couple of times. For you know me, this is a little bit repetitive, sorry. But for years, I would do this exercise in a classroom. We're talking about gratitude, and I would say, I want you to, matter of fact, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's do it right now. You guys on board? You ready to have the best 5 minutes of your day? Are you ready? Travis, you ready?
Yeah.
Mike, ready? Here it is. This is the best 5 minutes of your day. Okay, I'm going to describe somebody. I want you to think back in your life, all the years. I want you to think about mentors or teachers or family members or just people that you really, really cared about, that were really big for you, and they helped you out. When you have that person in your mind that came to the forefront, write their name down. Now, you're going to text them this. You're going to say, I was in a class today, and the instructor asked us to think about someone who was the most impactful in their life, and you came to mind. I want you to know I was thinking about you. I value you. You mean a lot to me. Thank you for everything you've done for me. And hit send. Here's the magic. Someone, and usually in about a group of about 40 to 50, someone is going to text back and say, I really needed that today. Like, I can't believe you sent me that message now. How did you know? Right? How did you know? So, yeah, I was in a class talking about people had positive impact. I thought of you. I want you to know I care about you. I appreciate everything you've done for me. And be authentic, be sincere, use your own words, and then maybe even recall a memory. Remember when we did. Remember that moment when when you recall something like that, and then you send it. And out goes the power of gratitude. Out it goes to do something with someone's life. It's like, don't put your candle under a bushel, right? Be a light on the hill. Same concepts, right? Let your light so shine. I mean, like this love and light that we all possess, so much power in that. I was so lifted by that simple little gesture. I cannot wait to call the other there's a half a dozen I have on my desk here. Sometimes people leave our company for good reasons. I know that sounds crazy. Like, oh, there's no good reason to leave. No, there's good reasons. Things happen to them. A lot of times they put real estate on pause and they put it on hold, and things, life happens. But these are good people that we've had an opportunity to connect with. So, all right, has everybody done that? If you have, you're about to have the most meaningful 5 minutes of your day, very likely. I mean, there could be something else that's lurking. Like I could be a grandfather again at any day now. So one of my daughters is days away from delivering our 7th grandchild. So I'm pretty excited about that. Now that would be pretty hard to beat that. But anyway, okay, so that's a good one. Express gratitude, sincere gratitude, because there's power in that. Another one for the 20 list, and maybe we'll just do 2 or 3 more of these and then move on. Any other 20 ways to earn?
I think closely, I'll throw this one out. A small idea closely related to the gratitude is the birthday. I know this is a bit planning, but I do know a few agents who religiously schedule birthday lunches with all their clients. They're going out on 1 or 2 a week. Is nice. A major source of business. They don't even talk about real estate, and their clients come to expect a birthday meal, hanging out with their real estate agent every year, and it's just a tradition at this point. I think that's a really good way and should be on your 20 list.
That's a really good way, Mike. I love that one. That's a good one. One of the things I don't particularly care for on the birthdays is the Facebook happy birthdays. I often get notified, like, hey, it's so-and-so's birthday, and I personally like a phone call or a text to them privately. And one of the fun things I like to do, because I've wished a lot of you on this call happy birthday, but one of my fun things I like to do on that is ask everybody what their favorite birthday meal is. And then guess what happens in my text string? I can search birthday meal. I know that sounds silly, but then I can say something like, hey, would you like to go get some tri-tip at Bandits? Because that's what they loved, right? Or I can say, hey, Monique, I hope you're having cracked crab tonight. I hope you're, someone told me just simply that their favorite thing was a homemade spaghetti meal that one of their, I can't remember if it was a spouse or not. I don't think it was the spouse, but someone made this great spaghetti. I was like, wow, you're having spaghetti? Like that's your birthday meal? But it started this nice little get to know you, like, hey, what is your favorite birthday meal? You know what, you guys, I can't walk into a store that sells donuts without thinking of Mike Fondario. And it's just because he said he was a connoisseur of fine donuts.
I do believe I said I was an expert, Will.
You're an expert, yes.
Hey, Mike.
I mean, I don't know what defines a donut expert. I sort of made up the criteria on my own.
Yeah. To that point, Mike, hey, we stopped into Sharon's office yesterday, and you have to try Miss Gaines's. Her husband made some homemade eclairs. I'm telling you, buddy. We need the expert on that one. You need to go taste those.
Well, I'll take my credentials right on over.
That's interesting that you say that, because for one of I think we had a wedding reception, and Natalie's husband, right? This is Natalie's husband.
Yep.
Yeah, he made the best cinnamon rolls I've ever tasted in my life. I was so blown away by these cinnamon rolls. I'm like, we have to have those. And can you cook them for me? And Natalie's husband made like 3 trays of cinnamon rolls for us.
Wow.
They were unbelievable. They were like illegal. There was something, I don't know, more butter, more sugar. I don't know what it was, but that's interesting you'd say that. So that's just maybe a little tip on the birthday thing is, I don't know, get your own, these are just getting to know people, and that it's not just, hey, I hope you have a wonderful day. There's a little bit more.
Yeah, the one thing, there's a couple things that I've seen that are really effective. One, if that you could text them, you can call them. The other thing you could do is, if you're on Facebook a lot, just get in Messenger and record a birthday video. the little personalized birthday video that takes 15 seconds.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's really, really easy to do. And then for the more lazy of us, we can record a single video that contains no names and just select it and send. I mean, it's really only like 7 seconds
Oh.
longer to record the greeting that's personalized.
Oh, someone's
So if
feeling
you really
bad,
need to
Mike.
save that 7 seconds, shave it off your day, then you could do that. But
I think someone's going, oh man, you're shooting down my program.
Mike, you must know a buddy that does that, right?
Well, I do know, it is funny because I do know one agent who decided that they had such a fear of actually calling people that they started making videos and like personalized videos and just sending them in Messenger to all their clients. And it was really effective. And she got business that way, but it wasn't a generic one. And she would just record one, go down the list and record these videos. And I do know a guy in the business world who went and created, he went and had like, I don't know, maybe a dozen different cakes made that said happy birthday on them with the company logo. And he would go and get his picture taken in all sorts of scenarios holding these cakes. And you would, and so every year you'd get a happy birthday and he's like holding this cake and he sent it to hundreds of people every day. And it's kind of clever. I would never do that, but I mean, it's kind of.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I got, just because he's on the call, my birthday, I remember, but I got a singing video, like, and they were singing to me. So can you take a guess at who on this call would actually sing to me?
I'm going with Peter Felis. I'm going with Peter Felis. Oh, maybe Joel. Maybe Joel Pack.
I'm going Joel.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Peter Felis and I are the same age. We went to high school together, so.
No, we're not the same age. Will is much older than I am.
I was gonna say.
Skipped a few grades.
Yeah, what was that? Like a week? When is your birthday again?
It's December.
You are. You're like 5 weeks older, aren't you? 4 weeks older?
No, I'm not.
I love it. Yeah. But yeah, Joel sent me the video saying to me, you got it right, you guys, if you guessed right. So that's kind of fun. All these things, I watched a reel in my study yesterday about Harvard did a study about the future selling. It was all going to be relationship based. And I think it's very true today is how much relationships matter. So we're thinking about ways to earn and connecting with people. It's really the fundamentals of building relationships. And that's, I guess you generally need to just care about people. I think I've joked before about a couple of people I met in Stringham. When they come through, you're like, hey, why real estate? And they're like, oh, I just love houses. And I'm like, well, so what do you think of people? Is that any, are you good with people? Are you good? And they're like, yeah, not really. Not really into people, but houses. Yeah, I love that. I'm like, hey, you probably try something else. This is a very people business. This is a very, some of you right now are saying, yeah, well, I love the houses. People are the problem. So, and in comes Ross, HR, just in time for me talking about people. Welcome, Ross. How are you? So, anyway, so there you go. There's some good tips. Anyone else have another 20 ways to earn? We got about 10 minutes left. It's okay. It's all right. Yeah. Yeah. Ross just figured out that we were on a Zoom. You guys all know Ross Anthony. He's a good friend of all of ours and dear friend of the Ronies for many years, and has been in many phases of the building of this company. So just a good man. He's an Iowa State fan too. So if you know Ross, he's rooting for Iowa State. So he travels a lot. And if you, yeah, but that's this relationship stuff. Like, something about somebody, right? Anything else on the 20? See, it gets tough, doesn't it?
Get up early, Will.
Get up early,
Yep.
which means going to bed early.
Yep. Which
That's
doesn't sound fun.
Yeah. Yeah. What's early to you, Monique? What do you think when you say get up early? What does that mean?
6, 7.
Yeah.
Gives you time to do all those things that if you wait too long, you just don't do them, exercise and kind of do your little scheduling, and then you have more time for contacts and all the good things you need to do for your business.
I love that, Monique. I've said many times you want to improve your life, improve your morning. Yeah. So improve your morning, improves your day. Improve your day, then there's your life. Days strung together. So see if you can analyze improving your effectiveness in the morning. And it's different for everybody. I get it. I've heard, but Will, the kids are going a million miles. He's kind of, I understand. Then maybe it's improve the day. How do you improve the day? So, but I wouldn't just skip over morning, even when I got kids. And I raised 4 daughters. And there were times where it was chaos. Quick story. Early morning. Okay. My middle child comes up to me. It's like 7:23. They got to leave in 2 minutes. And they knock. Dad. Yeah. What? Hair straightener, Dad. I'm like, hair straightener? Tam, we got an emergency call for a hair straightener. And I'm like, sweetheart, did you get your homework in your back? Dad, hair straightener. Well, okay, but you don't have your shoes. Dad, hair straightener. You get the picture. Okay. Like there's nothing going on until we get the hair straightener. So, oh my gosh. And I don't know if I told you guys this, but I had Utah Power knock on my door and say, can we analyze your electrical usage? And I said, well, sure. Why? He goes, well, you're averaging about 45-48% higher usage than anyone else on the street at their highest levels. And I go, oh, well, I've got 4 daughters. He goes, oh, never mind. We're good. We understand. No problem. I'll just make a note. 4 daughters. Good. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Cooper. And off he went. So, yeah. Those hair straighteners, Travis, pull like 600 watts a piece. And I'll bet you there were 6 of them going every morning.
I don't have 4 daughters, but I have some ladies in the house. I hear you, Mr. Cooper. I hear you.
Oh, yeah. Are we done with the 20 ways? I guess.
I think we're struggling here.
All right.
Adding any additional 20.
Okay. Well, hey, I'll put a bow on this next week. Hey, Mike, let's tease what our topic is for next week, because this is rule and law. Really excited about the topics that we've got coming up next week. Did we actually decide what was next week? We had so many good topics, but which one was it? Do you remember?
We're going to talk about some of the broker roundtable stuff. We're going to talk about is our message to our listing clients, and balancing the message out with our listing clients, because I think we are trending toward leaning on our marketing, and we also need to talk about our job is ultimately to find a buyer. Our job also happens to include working with a lot of agents. So I think we can clean up our language there. I think we can also talk about on our listings, and we can talk about pricing our listings correctly. And if our listings are sitting for an extended period of time, how we have the discussion around pricing and the language we should use in those scenarios.
Yeah, you know what? That reminds me, when we made that note, Mike, I know the form, guys, is unrepresented buyer.
There we go. We had that too.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the duties we have to a customer. So, yep, there it is, unrepresented buyer disclosure. We're gonna dive into that. When you're a listing agent and someone contacts you, and look, we're gonna talk about this. Hey, there's not another agent. I want a reduction in the list price. I know we've heard all of that. We'll get that into the discussion. From a legal and law standpoint, we need to review the duties of a listing agent to a customer buyer. Okay, so we'll talk about that. And a lot of those answers can be found in the unrepresented buyer disclosure form. I think we can mingle or marry the presentation of value in with the disclosure and how you present that. This was a really, really good discussion for us next week. Very needed and timely right now.
Yeah, that's actually a really difficult subject to navigate because,
Yep.
There's cliffs on both sides. So we got to know what to do there.
Yep. Okay, do you want to do one naughty list?
Oh yeah, let's do. I only have 2 naughty lists today. And let's face it, folks. Until a new naughty list comes out, I'm digging in the trenches of the old stuff, trying to come up with fresh material. And sometimes I hit a little nugget, little pocket of gold, and sometimes I don't. All right, here we go. Mr. Olson, associate broker, Orem, Utah. In an order dated May 2019, the Real Estate Commission found that Mr. Olson made a substantial and intentional misrepresentation in violation of Utah law to a short sale lender when he failed to disclose a referral fee he was to receive in the transaction. Although a referral fee is not generally required to be disclosed, Mr. Olson has signed a short sale affidavit affirming that he would not receive any proceeds or remuneration from the transaction that was not disclosed in the HUD-1 settlement. This order assessed Mr. Olson a civil penalty of $2,500 and placed his license on probation for an entire year. I feel like this is a really good example of we have to tell the truth at all times. I mean, I know it's sort of an unsaid, but when you see stuff like this, it's like, hey, we can't. When it's really easy. If you have any doubts about it, you just disclose it. Like, you don't even have to think about it that hard. When in doubt, disclose. And in these instances, that's sort of what it is. If you find yourself, I mean, there are a few instances, for disclosure when we have to, consider our client's interests. There's a couple, but not many. And so if you have a question, you should call your broker. And if your life's on the line and you have to decide whether to disclose or not disclose, you disclose. And that's how it goes.
Love it.
All right. And this one's not very exciting, but I picked it because there's a lot of license renewal coming up. So it sort of fits well in my office, and I'm sort of, handling some of this. So anyway, Mr. Harper, West Valley City, dated March 20, 2019, Mr. Harper admitted that he continued to advertise real estate and actively assist buyers and sellers after his license had expired. He closed a number of transactions during this unlicensed period. Mr. Harper agreed to pay a civil penalty of $5,000 and to complete 6 hours of continuing education in addition to the continuing education requirements for the license renewal. I doubt if it's a number of transactions. It feels like the fine is less than the money he earned as an unlicensed agent. But the bottom line is, let this be a lesson to you that the day that your license expires, let's say, you're waiting for that last class to log and you just want to renew your license, and you sure will, and it's a time lapse of 3 days. You can't talk to your clients about real estate. Only licensed real estate agents can do that, and you will not be licensed in this scenario for like 3 days. So, I mean, you could ghost them, I guess, but
better just to get your seed.
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah, it's never been easier in the history of real estate at Berkshire Hathaway to get CE, because you go on the portal. There's 18 hours, the mandatory class is there, the code of ethics class is there. It's all free. It's all online. And you got an entire 18 hours. So it's actually more than that, but never been easier. But that's
and also a massive amount of you have the mandatory class due this year, FYI.
Yeah, because you're getting the notices from the state. Yeah, and go take it. And we'll probably put a new one out here in a couple of months. We get back from convention, we'll do another mandatory class. We're doing one every year, but you only need one for renewal cycle. So
wait, we can't. Is the mandatory class not on our online?
It is. Yeah, it is, and it's good as long as they hadn't already taken it or used it for another year.
That renewal period.
Yeah,
okay.
That renewal period. So yeah, one mandatory class per renewal period. You can use the one online. So okay, you guys ready for some good humor as we say goodbye? I hope this is good humor. I can pre-qualify it here.
I'm preparing my emoji as we speak.
You are? Okay. Yeah. My job to deliver, your job, laugh, smile. Okay, here we go. What did the dad say when the golden retriever was caught eating a hot dog? What did the dad say when a golden retriever was caught eating a hot dog? It's a dog eat dog world out there. Ba-doom. All right. Here's another one. Now, you know why elevator jokes are so good? Well, basically because they work on many levels. Boom. Another. Okay. Now, you guys may not know this, but I know it's just the nature of dad jokes. You may not know this. I recently sold my truck, got a new car. I was thinking about a DeLorean, but when I realized with a DeLorean, I'd probably only drive it from time to time. So, decided against the DeLorean. I didn't want to just drive something from time to time. Hey, I love you guys. Mike loves you. Travis loves you. You love each other. Have a wonderful day. Go laugh and then get serious and then laugh again. It's a great pattern. All right. Love you guys.